The next exercise is using actions in Photoshop to create backgrounds. Now that's very easy. All you do is you open up actions. You'll see the first time that you open it up a bunch of default actions. Basically, these are actions that have been drawn from various libraries. The libraries are down here, and you'll see there's all sorts of libraries here. The one we are interested in today is textures. Not interested in default, so I'm just going to delete that. You're not deleting anything, you can always load it back in. And in the textures folder, there's a whole bunch of what are called actions. Now what an action is let's look at the very bottom one. If I click on it and open it up, you can see it's a set of commands, and it makes a snapshot of the page. It's converting it, it creates a fill layer, it's adding clouds, which we used in the last video, adding motion blur and so on and so on. And also implicit in it is making you a fresh layer. And the only thing it's not going to do is save your document, so do make sure you're doing that. So let's actually try and apply one. One of my favorites, gold sprinkles. And all you do is select it here. Don't go over here, don't do anything, don't open it up. Just simply hit the play button. Of course, what I need to do initially is to create myself a new document. Again, I'm going to use that clipboard that I used in the previous video. I'm going to change it to millimeters, 300, RGB. And we have to change it to RGB because within all of these actions are filters which are not accessible to us if we use CMYK. And it's also for print, so we're going to look at choosing a color profile which is more conducive to printing. Okay, so once we've done that, I'm going to create it. Let's try gold sprinkles again. As I say, don't come in here. If you came in here and you press play, it will get confused and it might get stuck in the middle of something. So just select the whole thing, press play, and there's my gold sprinkles. It's gone through all of these actions, which again involves making clouds, and it's created this really nice unique piece of gold sprinkles. Notice also in the layers, it's created its own layer. So I'm now going to try a couple of others. So cold lava, just going to play it. And some of them are really nice. These ones are lovely, and some of them are not so great, but they might be good as a base. And in between the layers, you know, you can create adjustments, or you could blend between the two, or you could add your own clouds and fibers and difference clouds and do a lot of blending. Okay, I suggest you continue with layer comps. So this would be one. If it was just straightforward onto the layers, you could, of course, instead of layer comps, you could export layers to files. Nothing wrong with that, but do name your layers in that case. I'm going to continue with layer comps. I think that one of the most amazing hidden secrets in Photoshop. So this is my actions. Actually, I'll just call it sprinkles. And then switch on lava, make a fresh one. So that's my lava. Let's try something a bit more complex, maybe marble. Not so complex. So I'm going to put, I know I said don't move things around, but we haven't used this one yet, so I'm going to put it on the top. Not so good. I'm going to just get rid of that one actually. And we'll try something, rusted metal's a really nice one. And I'm going to make a layer comp, rusted metal. Of course, you could also do a combination. You could seek things out on the internet or take your own photographs and bring these things together, you know, always to create something new. Some of these ones are more complex. Not so sophisticated. I like the kind of the simpler ones. This is rosewood, but it's not going to look like good rosewood. Okay, and what you'll get with these ones is it's going to run through all of these, all of the commands, but it's going to allow you to interfere with them, so you can make changes. So, for instance, I can create the rosewood effect that I want. So if I just wanted it to kind of get more, try and make it more effective, something like that. I'm going to say OK, and again I've put it in the wrong layer, so you can see it's given me a pattern. But I was asked a number of questions. Some of them are much more complex than others. So I'm going to make another layer comp. I'll call that rosewood. I'm going to make another layer of gold sprinkles, just so that I have one on the top. And then I'm going to ask it to blend. So you can apply blends to things. We can switch stuff off. Let's see how I can affect the lava. So without that layer, now my lava looks kind of gold. So I'm going to make a layer comp of that. Gold lava. You experiment and decide how it's going to go. I'm going to switch that off and maybe try a combination between this one and this one. And we can let stuff come through. It's not particularly great. Let's add in some clouds. So this time I need to make a fresh layer. Add in some clouds. Let's make the colours a bit more interesting. And then we can work through the blending. So here I'm going to add one here. So added clouds via blend. So really I'm only writing something that I can remember, so I can remember how I made it. And of course I've collected all of my layer comps. So they're all there, as you can see. And I'm going to export those as well. Of course, if you wanted to, you could also add in adjustment layers again, that whole gamut of stuff. So if I wanted to try out different colors, then we could see how I could affect that. Oh, look, bang on trend. Let's make that another layer comp. So I'll just call that one trend version. Okay, start again, trend version. When I'm happy and I've collected enough, be careful how big you let your documents get. Watch the size down here. So mine is still okay, 56 megabytes. But I have spotted some large documents around the room. And really, when you get into the hundreds, you're asking for trouble. Your document might crash and you might corrupt it. So just be very careful. So now I'm going to I have to save it first. And don't follow my example. You should really be saving as you go along. So this was my actions. And then of course I'm going to export layer comps to files. I'm choosing PDF again. So now I want to say backgrounds via actions and just make sure it's going into the right folder. We can run that. And then all of those assets are ready. I can put them in a contact sheet, print them out, decide which one I want to use, or try some of them out in my template for the can as backgrounds. So there they are. And just very quick refresher, if I wanted to make a contact sheet, I'm just going to put that whole folder into Bridge, rearrange it, so stuff I don't want, I'm just going to put at the end. So let's say I want all of these. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to say Tools, Photoshop, Contact Sheet. Very easy. It's telling me there's 12 files, so I can set up a number of pages with rows and columns to suit. So let's say if I want all 12, I need more, but if I want 2 pages, 2 columns, 3 rows, that's perfect. We allow the file name, and then the contact sheet will set up with the file name on it. Sometimes the file names are a little bit too big, too long, so you might get that little warning. And what you could do is reduce the font size when you're exporting to the contact sheet. So now I also have a contact sheet of everything ready for my sketchbook. And I'll save these into my working folder. Save this one, and you're ready to move on to the next stage.